Alright there, YouTube. Welcome back to Old Red, or Project 1983 Peterbilt 359. Thing moved in here last night. It has been negative screw my ass out all week long here. It was actually above zero last night, so I went ahead and got the truck pulled in. The wind was blowing about 40 miles an hour, so the wind chill was still way sub-zero, but you know, it's only about negative 8 Fahrenheit out right now, and the wind's still blowing to beat hell, so glad I got this thing pulled in when I did. And also got the Zephyr polishing kit in this week, so looking forward to getting some more polishing done on this. I also went ahead and ordered some microphones and stuff like that. Try to improve the audio quality on my videos a little bit. We're probably going to try that out on the video after the next video. By the end of the day today, I want to try to finish kind of figuring up the paint job cost and kind of put that together in a video, but I'm going to do that as its own video, which we'll probably post a few days after this one does. So the next video after that, hopefully we'll have a little bit better sound quality. If not, well, I tried. Anyway, let's get to it. One thing here, when I took these straps off, they didn't have any kind of a protective anything behind them here, and I feel like they should. I do have some of this bulk material here. It appears to be the right size. I bought a roll of this stuff a few years ago when I had changed some air tank brackets on the Mac, and it appears to be the right size for this here, so we're going to go ahead and put that on. Now, for obvious reasons, I'm a little bit afraid of scratching the paint on my freshly painted air cleaners here. So I'm going to lay some microfiber towels over this, especially kind of try to get these corners here, and then try to kind of get this thing in place. And then pull these back out. I'm sure there's going to be some finagling and, you know, trying to hold this thing in place here. So hopefully I don't scratch this thing. It has had about a week to cure here, so even if I do scratch it, hopefully it'll just be a minor scratch and I can just buff it out. But so grab that air cleaner and try to hang it in here and see how that goes. Here goes nothing. Oh, that was bad. I think we're all right though. Try to eyeball that there. Get this bottom one loosely bolted on here before that clamp slips, falls off, and everything comes crashing to the floor. Probably going to have to reposition this thing a little bit. Got it all dusty. Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely going to need to rotate inwards. See, shit, it's not loose enough to do that. Go ahead and snug these down here. some new nuts for these as well. You want to get your taller chrome or stainless or whatever ones that go over this so that the stud's not actually exposed. Alright, air cleaner's all done on there, didn't even scratch it, very happy about that. I'm glad I put those isolators on there because that exposed lacquer on the bands I think actually kind of gives it that little bit extra that makes it look good. So yeah, I think that come out nice. Very happy I got that on there without scratching it. I was pretty concerned about that. Okay, so I got the grill surround polished out, got the grill back in, still got to finish putting a few bolts in. That was kind of fun to try to do by myself. I had to duct tape the bolt on, open the hood to put the nut on to bolt that back on, but I still got some more bolts to put in there. I think the grill surround came out rather nice considering how hammered it was. It's still a little funky over on this side. This hood had taken a pretty good hard hit in this corner. I had straightened it out the best that I could, but it's still a little wavy, still got a pretty good sized dent in it right there. But overall, for polishing out what was there, I think that come out quite nice. For as many times as I've polished aluminum, never tried that Zephyr polish. Kind of wish I would have tried that a long time ago. Stuff works really good. I think we're going to go ahead and polish this tank out here next. I already got it washed down and scrubbed with a kind of mild abrasive pad there, but quite a bit of pitting on the tank. We're going to sand it down and polish it out, and I'll show you guys that process. Now when we get to sanding on this stuff, we're going to want to put a respirator on. Aluminum dust is not very good for you. Actually, I'm sure you guys all know the movie The Wizard of Oz. There was two different Tin Men in that movie. The first one almost died and had to go to the hospital and wasn't able to continue the movie because they were using aluminum powder for his makeup for his face. And what they did is then they switched the makeup from aluminum powder to aluminum paste and never told the replacement guy what had happened to the first guy. So kind of an interesting bit of trivia for you there. But yeah, in the movie The Wizard of Oz, they almost killed the first Tin Man. So we're going to put this respirator on. I'm going to start out with 120 grit on these because they're pretty hammered. Then we're going to do 320, and then we're going to go ahead and start buffing. Alright, so the tanks are all sanded out with 320. Did get the majority of the pitting out. there is still a little bit. I don't know if you see it on camera there. And the ends of the tanks are still pretty hammered. I don't know, I might end up coming and painting this from here out, maybe with some red bed liner or something. We'll see. But I'm gonna go ahead and start polishing on these a little bit, and we'll see how it comes out. Alright, so that's the first heavy cut done on these tanks. Overall, I'm pretty happy. I ended up just not even polishing this end out. This end was quite a bit worse than even the back side here, and I'd really have to take a lot of material out of this in order to get this smooth. So I'm going to do something different with the ends here. But the sides overall, I think, came out pretty good for being the factory original tanks, being date stamped from 1983. There is some minor pitting. It's kind of hard to get it to show up in the camera here, but there is still some pitting left that we didn't get out. There you can kind of see it there. But for being original tanks from 1983, I think that looks quite nice. There's some hologramming and stuff from the heavy cut, but we'll take that out with the next couple steps there. Next, we're going to use the purple pad with the green rouge bar. Now, some of you guys will probably notice I only got one of the two safety flanges on here. I am aware that it's supposed to have them both on. I accidentally over tightened this thing and I cracked one of the safety flanges, so I'm going to order some new ones. But for right now, I'm keeping the back one on here. I'm just holding it down. With the other bolt, so hopefully it'll be okay, but it's not right, and I know that. I also should probably be wearing safety glasses. I am aware of that. We're just going to finish this off with some of the Zephyr Pro 40 finish on it. Alright, so that's one fuel tank done. It's not 100% perfect, but it's definitely working truck nice. I think it came out pretty good considering that these are the factory original tanks from 1983. And they came out pretty darn nice. Once this truck's actually on the road, you know, this is going to need to be repolished probably at least once, if not twice a year. So, you know, this will continually get better over time. Very happy with that Zephyr polishing system. I can't believe how much better it is than ways I've done it in the past. It works very fast. It works very good. Very happy with it. It's still a lot of work. I had planned on trying to get both fuel tanks done this weekend. I think I'm going to save the other one for another day. We're going to go ahead and walk over to the other side here so you can kind of take a look at the before and after. So this is what the tank looked like before. I did do a little bit of very minor polishing up in there back when I first got the truck, just kind of to see if these tanks would polish out or not. But you know, the end cap here is definitely very representative of what these tanks looked like. So yeah, that is definitely a night and day difference. At some point here I'm going to end up taking these fuel tanks off. I'm going to do a rear end cutoff on this, stretch the frame so that I can add a lift axle on it. So after I do that, I'm going to paint the frame. And the frame is very nice from the cab forward, but I'm going to drop the tanks off so that I can paint the frame and all that. And when I do that, that'll allow me to kind of get in some of these areas that you can't really get to with the tanks on. Kind of give those a good polish and clean up underneath the straps and, you know, up underneath a little bit further, and then, you know, that'll give a really nice appearance. I'm going to do something with the end caps. We'll have to see what exactly I do there, but rather than polish the end caps, I'm going to do something else with them. I might paint these straps, or I might get some stainless ones, but we'll go from there. I think some good progress here for this week. Oh, the sun is extremely intense out here today. It's 8 below zero. Absolutely clear sky. We got snow on the ground, so it is very bright out here. But here's what we're looking like now. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe down below. Have a great day.